Welcome to 10. I'm Shauna Dorsey, the executive director of the Nebraska Tech. Oh, God. Okay, here we go.
Great. Here we go.
It's all good. Nebraska Tech Collaborative, powered by the Exarban Foundation. Here with my co-host.
I'm Brian Poppy. I work at Mutual of Omaha. I'll make it short so I don't cough or choke or whatever on the intro.
Okay.
We're joined today by Corey Spitzer. Corey, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. Loving life.
Good. We're super excited that you're here today.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Corey, for y'all who don't know, is like a startup veteran. He's been around for a long time doing cool stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you got into this startup space and what keeps you here?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've been a software engineer for over 20 years, and I only got turned on to the startup community as it was forming around 2008, 2009. So I saw this flurry of new activity, and it's like that's really exciting, and it entered into my mind, as I'm sure it does, with younger people, that you don't have to just go to work and work at one company for 40 years and then retire. So I jumped in, not knowing what to expect, and followed the ebbs and flows, and it's working out. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All
right, you have to be a bit more specific. So,
I know. I was like, okay.
What did you do in 08 and 09 where you're like, this is cool, I want to go do X? Like, tell us about that.
Well, so there were what cropped up were some events and some players on the scene, and there was Bar Camp, and then 2009 was the first big Omaha, the big entrepreneurial conference in Omaha that drew a huge crowd, huge energy. It really was something magical. And that inspired more and more and more and more. Yeah. And, the pandemic put a big old dent in things, but I think a lot of people recognized we were kind of stagnating, and now there's like revived energy, and there's a whole next generation of new faces that I'm seeing around town, and Lincoln and Western Nebraska and everywhere.
It's amazing. So I'm going to dig a little bit more into your startup stuff, because you've done some really cool things and you're a very humble person, which we appreciate about all of our Nebraska guests. Like, we have to really be like, hey, no, brag, because you're awesome. So tell us about your favorite company that you help found, or like, is it found?
Found.
Okay.
Founded? Yes, there we go. We did it. Finded.
Well, I tell you what, everybody's on their own path. It has been bumpy, that's inherent in the journey. I tell you what I am doing right now, I feel aligns with so much all at once, Yeah,
but you haven't said what it is you're doing.
He's
now.
going to. He was getting there.
Tell you.
It was coming.
Okay, so this is amazing.
Impatient.
So when people say, what do you do? I say, I'm a fractional CTO. So basically my sweet spot is working with early stage companies, non-technical founders who need to get their thoughts together with strategy, pricing, manage a project, build a team, build a minimum viable product. I can plug in several different ways at whatever levels needed. So it's very flexible and adaptable, and I love the variety.
That's awesome. So then you get to support a lot of different companies, and also the ones you're passionate about, right? Because I'm sure you're asked to be a CTO for opportunities that maybe they aren't quite aligned with what you're interested in.
And the great thing is, so at any given time, I'm working with maybe 3 to 5 different companies, and the learnings over here translate to action at a different company, maybe even in the same week. So, and along the way, hitting all these different business models and different products serves me just for inspiration as I think about my own ideas.
Yeah.
And it's working out nicely.
That's cool. I have one more. Brian, no, go ahead.
Oh,
my bad.
I have so many questions.
Okay. You please go.
How did you find out that this was even a thing that you could do? I've got a real problem. I don't know, maybe a problem of where I like to learn a lot of new things, and what you're describing sounds so fun.
Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting. So it wasn't too long ago, just a few years ago, that I learned about this idea of a fractional CFO, right? For companies who maybe don't have enough work, or they're too early to have a full-time CFO. And I dipped my toe in the water. I had this itch, like I want to work on my own idea, but I need to, make some income along the way. I can consult, right? So I thought, if there's a fractional CFO, maybe there's a fractional CTO. I'm going to just play with that, ease into like, do you get what this means? And so on. Come to find out, there are communities, like there's one called Fractionals United, fractional CTOs, CMOs, COOs. And it seems to be a more and more prevalent thing. Like, I feel like I've caught something just as it's starting to trend.
Yeah.
And the working from home thing as a normal course of action is really helping too. So
that's fantastic. And I'm assuming, like, especially for a company that's kind of growing but can't afford a full-time, like, highly skilled individual.
Yeah.
That is a huge benefit. And most of them don't need like a 40 hours a week or whatever a normal work week is of a person. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my follow-up.
Go for it.
I'm doing that because we're like, get all excited about guests. So anyway, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So I was going to say that I know that you are also passionate about mentoring and helping people be successful and do their thing. So we'll get back to the CTO thing, but I want to just have you talk a little bit about your office hours that you
keep me on task here.
Oh, yeah, sure. So one thing I love about this community is you can just say, hey, I'm working on this. And you don't even have to put the ask out there, although it's not at all taboo to like put your ask out there. But even just people just naturally say, oh, I know a way I can help, or I can give you an intro, or I can give you a donation, or whatever the case is. And I think, as people get back into the swing of things after the pandemic, fostering that myself. And I'm just energized by meeting new people and thinking about the different business problems that everybody has, and just having a sounding board to bounce ideas off of, because I have been told I ask pretty good questions.
It's true.
So yeah, I mean, I just do that for fun. And, if some work comes out of it, great. If not, then, just put some karma out there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Boy, we need folks that ask good questions. And I totally agree with you with like people being extra willing to help here, particularly in Nebraska. I think that's one of the things that we kind of hear as a theme through the 10 podcast.
That's true.
So do you typically take like equity from the startups that you're assisting, or are you taking like a salary, or are you just like doing this out of the goodness of your heart? Like, where are we at on the kind of like scale here?
I'm like your typical hourly consultant.
Okay.
I have thought about equity. I'm coming up on 1 year doing this as a full-time thing. It just hasn't happened where I've taken equity, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Sure. And if I'm a startup out there and you're like, you know what, I need a Corey, how do they get in touch with you?
LinkedIn is great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So you said you're good at asking questions. What question do you have for us?
I figured you would ask that. Why do you do what you do? Like, why are you doing this? And what gets you up in the morning to do this?
I do it because Shauna asked me to.
Okay, that's fair. Like, I do just ask for random things. I'm like, it would be super fun. And I start off like that so people just get excited about whatever it might be. That's maybe some nonsense. But this one happens to be great. But one of the reasons I love 10 is because we get to interact with people like you. So you and I have known each other for years, or of each other.
Yeah.
But not really haven't spent much time together because we're often at another thing doing our networking thing. That's just how it is. But I always appreciate these opportunities to learn more about all the awesome people throughout the state. It's just, I love it.
Yeah, I guess honestly I do it. Well, one, Shauna asked, and that's great. I appreciate working with Shauna on getting to share some stories like this. But two, it really is, I think Nebraskans are pretty humble, and there's a lot of cool stuff that we do that just those stories need to be told.
Right.
So I'm happy to help others tell it like in whatever way that they want to. Like, it wouldn't be the same if Shauna and I were just up here talking about you without you being here. Like, we're so glad you're here. We're so glad you joined us today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally relate. Yeah. Like I said, it's energizing and inspirational and gets my creative juices flowing, hitting up all the different perspectives, especially with startup business models and products and ideas. So
All right. Well,
That's
this has been
awesome.
10, everyone. We've got 3 seconds left, so I think we made it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you.